Hello, good evening everyone. Can anyone please confirm if my audio is clear? Waiting for your okay. Am I audible? Can anyone please confirm in the chat box by writing audible or clear? Waiting for your answers. Okay, thank you for the confirmation. 1 second, let me just pin to the live chat. Yes, so welcome everyone to the last day of motor session. I hope you are enjoying the sessions and I hope you are learning a lot of new things, how to implement it practically in the exams, and how do we at least fix 6-7 questions which will be numericals in the exam, and just all we can memorize and practice and try to score maximum in the motor section. So what we are going to do today is we will be touching some points of motor TP, including the calculation part, the important sections, and the queries that you all have asked in the Google Sheet, and if there are any other unanswered queries or unanswered question which I was not able to answer, that also we will be sparing some time at the end of the session. You can post your queries in the chat box at the end of the session and I will be happy to answer those things. So with this, let's start our last session. So before we start, we have our very favorite disclaimer. This video is for educational purpose only, and the views expressed here on this video are mine alone and do not necessarily reflect the views of my employer or the organization. So directly coming to the TP calculation part, without wasting any time, I hope all of you are on time. I can see it's 8:31 and we can start. So in case of a OD, what we do is we use the depreciation table, the IDV table and the NCB tables, right? In case of a TP, we use some table or some concepts which are not which were not written in any tariff or any manual, but these have evolved after the court judgments. Like we all know, in India we have a law which is called common law. So as and when the court progresses, as and when the new case starts coming, the courts arrive at a particular formula or a method to derive a third party liability in case of a death claim, in case of a injury claim also. But as the injury claims are very case specific, being the nature of the injury, so what we will be discussing today is the death claim calculations. Okay, so these calculations or these tables are given by the people working in the motor TP department. These are used as references, and as you all know, I am not the subject matter expert for motor TP. I have been taught this by one of my friend and I am presenting it in front of you. Okay, so if you feel at any point of time I am going wrong in any calculation or in any particular concept or in method, you can please help me out in the chat box and I will try to correct it. Hopefully I will not make any mistake, because I understand the repercussions of it. So probably what I will be teaching today will be foolproof. I teach only those things in which I am very confident. So but still sometimes I tend to make errors. So if you find anything which is updated and I have not updated it here, please reach out to me. Okay, so with this, let's start with the Sarla Verma case law. Okay, so this particular multiplier table and this personal expense table came out of a law which is called Sarla-Verma case law. So when a person dies, when any person dies, then in case of an accident, the court look at basically three things. What are those three things? Can you write it in the chat box? In any third party claim, when a person dies, what are the three things that the courts look at to calculate a compensation? Waiting for your answers in the chat box. One hint is given on the screen itself. Age of the person who has died, right? What are the other two factors? One is age, other is, yes, good. Other factor is income, and the last factor is dependents. So these are the three basic factors which a court generally takes into consideration while arriving at the quantum of a claim. So this table talks about the age multiplier. What does the age multiplier means? In case a young person dies, this table will get the highest calculation, right? So for a person dying in the age bracket of 15 to 25, we will multiply the number by 18. How we will multiply? We will be taking care of this particular thing in the next two slides. But for this slide, you just remember this is called multiplier, okay? This is called age multiplier. So how do we memorize it? From 18 to 13, it is decreasing order, okay, continuous decreasing order, and from 13 onwards it is alternative numbers, okay, 13, 11, 9, 7, 5, right? On this particular side, there is a gap of 11 numbers. It starts from the age of 15 to 25, and henceforth it is at a gap of 5 each, okay, and it goes up to 70. No age multiplier after the age of 70, correct? Now coming to this table. This table gives an idea of a personal expense. Now for any person who is earning, he will be spending some portion of that particular income on his own expenses. So this is called personal expenses. So the court says if a person is a bachelor and is survived by parents only, then we assume that half of the income he is spending on himself and remaining half he is giving to parents, or he is spending on parents, okay? And if a person is survived by parents and siblings, court says 1/3 of the expense will be treated as personal expense and remaining 2/3 will be treated as the expense of parents and sibling. Easy to remember. Bachelor plus parents means 2 people, so half of each, and bachelor plus parents plus siblings, it means 3 people, so 1 share for each, okay? So siblings are not defined, like maybe now they have defined and I am not sure. It can be younger siblings who are not earning, or it can be older siblings who are earning, right? But for examination purpose, if you find the word siblings, you have to take this factor, as simple as that. Now coming to the person who is married, the calculation factor is taken like this. If there are 2 to 3 persons depending on him, irrespective of whether these people are wife, children, parents or brothers, the factor is taken as 1/3 for the person and for the family 2/3, right? If there are 4 to 6 people, then we assume that 1/4 he is spending on himself and 3/4 he is spending on his family. If there are more than 6 people in the family, then he must be spending only 1/5 on himself and remaining part on the family, okay? So these numbers can vary, but we have to just arrive at a particular number so that when the awards are awarded at a very high quantum, then the people working in TP department take the reference of these tables and they go for an appeal. This is my understanding. Going to the next slide. Another important case law is NICL versus Pranay Sethi. Okay, so this was also a landmark judgment. Sometimes a question is also asked, what was the thing which was introduced in NICL versus Pranay Sethi judgment. So generally we say that the future prospects, the concept of the future prospects was introduced in this particular judgment. Okay, so the civil law is also written here. It was a bench of 5 judges. If they can ask how many persons were sitting for that particular case, so you can say it was a 5 judges bench, and the date is also written. Now I don't think they will be asking the date, but I have given it for the reference. So let us understand what are future prospects. Future prospects are actual salary, should be read as so. Future prospects are taken like this: if a person is of up to the age of 40, then we take 50% additional salary. Okay, so we assume that the salary will grow as he grows, right? He will have some future earnings also. So what we do, we multiply the salary by 1.5. We increase the salary by 50%. For example, if a person is earning 10,000 rupees today, then he might be earning 15,000 in the coming future. So this factor is taken at the time of calculation. If the age is in the bracket of 41 to 50, then 30%, and if it is 51 to 60, then it is taken 15%. Now, one more thing which was introduced in this case law was the definition of a self-employed. So earlier this calculation was done generally for the salaried people as per my understanding, but after this case law, these particular numbers also came out. So if a person is self-employed, like he is a painter, he is an electrician, he is a denter, or any kind of self-employment, he is a shopkeeper, then up to the age of 40, you will be taking the percentage as 40%. 41 to 50 will be taking 25%, and after 50 you will be taking it as 10%, and after 60 no future prospects to be considered, right? So as of now we have learned 3 tables. So this table is also easy to learn. For a self-employed, the number will be same, 40%, and then after you can reduce it. Okay, here also you can increase this percentage by 50% because it is taken that a salary is a more structured formula. If he is working in a corporate or if he is working in a government sector, the salaries are fixed. So generally this percentage is taken on higher side. Now coming to the 4th table, it talks about non-pecuniary damages. Okay, these are fixed costs. Say for example, funeral expenses, court consider paying 15,000 rupees for this. Loss of estate, it is considered as 15,000 rupees, and loss of consortium, it is only for the married people. In case a married person dies, sometimes court award this also. Okay, so generally the questions in the exams will be giving you, that consider non-pecuniary expense of rupees 30,000 or consider non-pecuniary expense of rupees 70,000. Generally questions are framed in this manner, but suppose in case it is given that consider non-pecuniary damages and nothing is given, then you have to check whether he is a bachelor or he is a married. If nothing is given, you can do the calculation as per bachelor. Okay, so generally for married people they specify, this is my understanding, but this much level of question, confusing question will not be there in the exam, right? So all the tables are clear. Now let us understand how the compensation is calculated. So we are taking an example of a person whose income is 10,000 rupees. Okay, one second. Yes. So we are doing it by both the methods, with future prospects and without future prospects. So let us do it first with future prospects, considering a monthly income of 10,000 rupees. And future now 10,000 rupees is lesser than the notional income, so do not mix 2-3 concepts. It is just an example, it can be 1 lakh also. So just for the sake of calculation, I have taken this as 10,000. Considering future prospects of 50%, the income will be 15,000. Okay, we have just multiplied this number with 1.5. Now reducing the personal expenses, that is reducing 1/3 for himself, or you can multiply this number by 2/3. Again we will get the final income as 10,000 rupees. Now multiplying the number by 12. Why? Because we have to calculate the annual income. So the annual income works out to 1,20,000. Taking the age multiplier at the last, multiplying this by age, and here you get the final compensation. And if it is given, you have to add non-pecuniary, you can add non-pecuniary damages also. Okay, now coming to the example of without future prospects, it is simpler. So no future prospects taken, the salary will be taken as it is, nothing will be added, 1/3 will be reduced, multiply it by 12, calculate annual income and multiply it with the age factor, and you get the final answer. See, you can see the difference. With future prospects, when the court is considering, okay, this person will be earning more in future, the compensation which is being offered is more, and when it is not being considered, the compensation which is being offered is less, right? So that is the reason courts take these things into consideration. Now I think we should go to the favorite thing, the calculation part. Now I want you all to try this question with the logics and the tables learned so far. So deceased is a school teacher in government school, and at the time of his death his age is 38. There are two dependents, mother and wife, and the salary is given. You have to calculate the compensation without future prospects and non-pecuniary damages. So it means without future prospects and without non-pecuniary damages. Let me know if you need any help. I can tell you the age multiplier if you want, because as of now you have not memorized the table, so I can tell you the age multiplier. So the age is in the bracket of 36 to 40. For this particular age, the age multiplier is 15. See, I have a question in the chat box by Mr. Arnab. Aren't age multiplier at the start multiplied or at the end? It will not make any difference, because you are multiplying it, it will not make any difference. See, if you multiply 2 by 3 or you multiply 3 by 2, the answer will be same in both the cases. So it is your choice. Okay, let's start solving the question. I'm just waiting for one answer. I hope at least one person is from third party department. Okay, we have got the first answer. Let's start solving. So, how do I solve this question? Now, the first method I told you was the vertical calculation. Now I will tell you a horizontal calculation. Whichever you find easy, you can use it in the exam. Okay. So I write it like this: S A D F N P. Okay, S stands for salary, A stands for age, D stands for dependents, F stands for future prospects, and NP stands for non-pecuniary damages. Okay, now I read it like this: sad family. Okay, sad family, and NP you can make your own short forms. Okay, so first things first, like we did it in the OD section, age multiplier 15, dependent multiplier, there are two people who are dependent, he is a bachelor, so we will be taking 2 by 3, and salary you have to multiply it by 12 for the annual income, right? So let us write everything. 24,000 into 12, this is annual income, then age multiplier which is 15, then dependent multiplier which is 2 by 3, future prospects not applicable, NP not applicable. Okay, so let us do the calculation. Okay, so what all things are left? 24,000 multiply by 12 multiply by 5 2s are 10. Simple. So the answer of this question will be 28 lakhs, sorry, this is 28 lakhs 88,000. So the answer is B. Correct? Okay, so many of you have answered it correctly. I think you got it. So this is the horizontal method to solve it, and the one which you saw in the table is a vertical method. You can use any method. Now you can see, Arnav, I have taken this 15 right at the beginning, so it will not make any difference to the calculation, right? Let us solve question number 2. Now this time I will not tell you the age multiplier because it is very simple. In which scenario will the future prospects need to be taken? Okay, the question will tell you with future prospects or without future prospects. Or the question can be like this also: calculate the compensation using Pranay Sethi case. It is called structured formula for calculation of compensation as per Pranay Sethi case law. Waiting for the answer of second question. You can write 2A, 2B, 2C and 2D. Okay, we have got the first answer. I am not sure you are answering it for second question or first question. Please write 2A, 2B, 2C and 2D. Meanwhile, I will start solving this question. Okay, so the age multiplier will be taken as 18. If you remember, from 15 to 25, the age multiplier is highest, it is 18. Now, he is a married person or a bachelor. He is a bachelor, father, mother and younger sister. Okay, so there are parents as well as siblings, so he will be sharing 2/3 of the income with them. 1/3 he will be keeping for his expenses and 2/3 he will be giving it for the siblings. Yes, salary multiply by 12. Now in this question it is with future prospects and with non-pecuniary damages. So the formula remains same as A D F, and I will write plus NP because these damages are straight away added. It is not a multiplier. Non-pecuniary is not a multiplier. So 14,000 multiply by 12 multiply by age factor, which is 18, multiply by dependency factor, which is 2/3, and multiply by future prospects. So the future prospects in this case will be, he is a fruit vendor. Fruit vendor falls under the category of self-employed, so it is 140% for them. So we will write 140% upon 100. 40% increase means 140%, right? And plus non-pecuniary damages. If nothing is given, we will take what? Full amount. Or he is a bachelor, what should we take? 70,000 or 30,000? I want the answer in the chat box. while I solve this question. So doing the calculation, while I am doing the calculation, I want the answer in the chat box. 3 1s are 3, 3 6 are 18. So what all things are left? 140 multiplied by 12 multiplied by 6 to 140, right? And plus, yes, it will be 30,000 rupees because he is a bachelor. So the answer will be, just to save time, I have noted down the figures today. You can use the on-screen calculator also. Plus 30,000. So the answer will be 28 lakhs 52,400, right? So why we have not taken 70,000? Because he is a bachelor and there will be no charges paid for consortium. I hope we pronounce it in the same way, right? Correct. So many of you have answered it correctly. Let us take this answer and go to question number 3. I hope the speed is okay and you all are getting the answers. Okay, there is one question in the chat box by Ms. Disha. So please explain the amount of non-pecuniary damages. Okay, so the non-pecuniary damages are paid in three bifurcation. Okay, the one is loss of estate, which is fixed, 15,000 rupees. Funeral expenses, it is also fixed, 15,000 rupees, and additional 40,000 is paid to a person who is married. Okay, so you can consider 40,000 rupees is paid to his wife for loss of consortium. This is what they call it. Nowadays they have started one more thing, loss of love and affection, 40,000 to each family member. But for this particular session, let us forget about it. So to answer your question in a layman format, I would say if he is a bachelor, add 30,000. If he is married, add 70,000. As simple as that for non-pecuniary damages. So we have one more question. Please answer as 3A, 3B, 3C and 3D. I can see all the right answers today. Wow. The studies are going at full force. Many of you probably must be just doing the revision. You have already studied. So in question number 3, waiting for the first answer. Age is 52. Age multiplier will be how much? 11. Dependent is only one, wife. Dependent multiplier will be, only wife is dependent. Come to the lower part of the portion of the table, married and dependent 2 to 3. We take what? 1/3 for personal, and for dependent 2/3. There will be some confusion, I know. We will go back to the table and we will solve it. Salary 15,000 per month multiplied by 12 to get the annual salary. Calculate the amount of compensation without future prospects and without non-pecuniary. Simple question. So we have to take only 3 things. SAD. Simple question. Right. Salary is 15,000 multiply by 12 multiply by age 11 multiply by dependent 2/3. Okay, without future prospects, without non-pecuniary, correct? 3 ones are and 3 5s are 15. Sorry, 3 5s are 15, so it will become 5,000. 5,000 multiply by 12 multiply by 11 2s are 22. So the answer of this question is, I hope I am doing it correctly. I think my manual calculation is incorrect. One second. Let us do it on the calculator. $5,000 multiply by 12 multiply by 22. So the answer is 13,20,000. Correct? Yes, you all have also, I can see in the chat box, all of you have got the same answer. 13,20,000. Correct? Yes, great. So before we go back to next question, we are going back to the table just for a recap, quick recap, and then we will do the next question. So now you can relate more easily. This is the age table, 15 to 25, the age multiplier is highest, 18, and then it keeps on decreasing by number 1, and this table is at a gap of 5. I suggest when you go for the examination, you can just write down this table like we write down HR numbers, right? So you can just write down, make a table on the paper that you will be given, and you can also write the right hand side. So while doing the question, you will not be confused, okay, what age multiplier I have to take, because the options will be like this. Even if you multiply it by 13, you will get some answer. Even if you multiply it by 14, you will get some answer. Both the options will be there in the question. So you might take the wrong one. Personal expenses, bachelor, very simple. Bachelor plus parents, half of. Bachelor plus parents plus sibling, 1/3 each. For married, you can remember like this, 2 to 3 people. These two numbers are exactly same. So we start with this number and then we keep increasing 1 in the denominator. 1/3, 1/4, 1/5. This table is simple. It is also clear. Keeping it on the screen for 15 seconds so that you can note it down or you can just memorize, because in next question this will be helpful. Okay, going to question number 4. Now this question you all have to solve. The person is a sales tax inspector, age 56, survived by wife, son and 2 daughters. So married, salary is also given, with future prospects and with non-pecuniary damages. Complete revision of all the logics. You start writing. So the age multiplier will be taken as 9. Wife, son and 2 daughters, dependents ranging from 4 to 6. For 4 to 6, we just read 1/4 will be taken by him and 3/4 will be given to the family. Salary multiply by 12. Sometimes annual salary will be given, so do not multiply it by 12, okay? Take care of the numbers in the exam. So in this question everything is applicable. S, A, D, F, NP. Okay, let us write NP first so that there is no confusion. He is a married person, so it is flat 70,000. This we have to add, not multiply. Salary 45,000. multiply by 12, age multiply by 9, dependency 3 upon 4, and this will be now future prospects. The age is 56, maximum is up to 60 years of age. For a salaried person, it is, I believe, 15%, so it should be 115 upon 100, if I am not wrong. Yes, it is correct. Let us do the maths. Okay, 4, 1 and 3. You can do it your way. Okay, calculation, you can do it your way. So when we will solve all this, we will get 41,91,750. Okay, and plus 70,000 you have to add for non-pecuniary. So you will get the answer as 42,61,750. Correct. So the correct answer will be option D. Great. Many of you have answered it correctly. Okay, Mr. Abhijit says the table of future prospects appear to be little incorrect. Okay, Abhijit. Can you share the correct table with me? I will share it I will tell AB team to share the correct table in the AB Telegram group. So if the age is taken slightly incorrect, then you can, okay, 1 second, let me go through your message. The age band is 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and not 41 to 50 and 51 to 60. Okay. So last time what happened, this particular table was in the session. Okay. What you are saying was taken in the session. But what happened, I got a question like this. What if the person is having the age exactly as 50? So I want Mr. Abhijit to answer this question in the chat box. If we take age band like this, 40 to 50, 50%, 50 to 60, 30%, then if a question is given like the age of the person is 50, then in which particular row you will take? What percentage do we take? If you have the answer to this, we can again rectify that table. I hope you got the query. This is still a query for me, but when I checked with one of my friend again who is working in the department, he said that this is how we do it. So by the time you answer, let us go to question number 5. Others, please do not get confused. You focus on this question, because let us hope that the examiner will not ask exactly age 50, exactly age 60 or exactly age 40, because there is a confusion at the round numbers. Okay, you are saying if the person is up to age 50, then the age band will be 40 to 50. But 50 was coming in both the bands. If you check your own answer, I can take your input and we can do the calculation accordingly. Absolutely no problem with that. Non-PQ damage shouldn't be 77,000. No, it is not 77,000. Acha, you are asking. Yes, on this I will give you an explanation. On non-pecuniary, I have an update. I will tell you once we do this question. And don't worry, question will give you, take non-pecuniary damages as 70,000 or 80,000 or 90,000. I will tell you why. Okay, let's start solving this question. So there is a student with the age 18. What will be the multiplier? 15 to 25, the multiplier is 18. Survived by mother, father and younger sister. Dependent, okay. Seems to be unmarried. We will take the factor as 2 by 3. Salary 8,000, again no confusion, just multiply it by 12. We all know that the notional income is now 15,000 something. But let us not get into it. Question will be giving you the straight numbers. Right? It is without future prospects and without non-pecuniary damages. So S A D 8,000 multiply by 12 multiply by age factor 18 and multiply by 2 by 3. 3 1s are 3, 3 6 are 18. So simple. The answer of this calculation, what I have done is, it will be 11,52,000. Today I am not doing the calculation on the on-screen calculator just to save some time, because by now you probably are well versed with the calculation part, right? So the answer of this question will be D. Most of you have answered it correctly, right? So now coming to your queries. First query is non-pecuniary damages have increased. It is increasing by 10% every year. Some new judgment has come, Magma insurance company judgment. So all these things are very dynamic. So that is the reason these things like non-pecuniary damages are clearly given in the question, because examiner also know, like all of us are not working in motor TP department, right? So we all are not updated what is the current non-pecuniary damages. So that is the reason it is given clearly in the question. Taking non-pecuniary damages as 30,000, taking non-pecuniary damages as 60,000. You have to just simply add it, as simple as that, no confusion. Okay, now coming to one more question which was asked, how to take Pranay Sethi or Sarla Verma. Question again will be giving you a very clear guideline. If it is asking without future prospects and without non-pecuniary, it itself means that it is a Sarla Verma case. This is my own understanding. I have applied these logics in the exams in which I have appeared, and the questions were right. Okay. So don't worry, this is the highest level of calculation that you can do in the exam. Probably there will be no question which will be tougher than this. And if it is, you will be, equipped with enough skill set and logics to apply it in the examination hall. Don't worry about it. Your concept should be clear. Question can be framed in any manner. If the concepts are clear, you will be able to solve it. Father, mother and sister, why are you taking 2 by 3? Why am I taking 2 by 3? Okay, if we go back to this table, see, father, mother and sister means he is a bachelor. So father, parents means father and mother, and sister means sibling. So the factor for the personal expense is 1 by 3. Remaining will be, for the parents and siblings, it will be 2 by 3. 1 by 3 will be deducted. It is a deduction table. Okay, 1 by 3 for the bachelor and 2 by 3 for the parents plus sibling. Okay, so this is the end of the presentation part for today. Let us go to the questions in the spreadsheet. I am keeping it. Is the calculator allowed in exam? Yes, last year on-screen calculator was allowed in the exam, but there was some problem with the calculator. It was not showing the first digit. Decimal it was showing up to 9 or 10 digits, but first digit it was not showing. So you have to read the last 4 digits and carefully look at the numbers. Probably this time the bug will be resolved, but these kind of things also happen. So try to solve the questions manually, so that even if the calculator is not given, you should. The reason I was solving it horizontally was same. When we solve it horizontally, we can do the numerator denominator cutting and we can solve it manually also. So coming to the question number 1, one second, let me wrap the text and maximize it to 125%. Okay, so question number 1 is 50% NCB earned on a private car of 1000 cc. Insured sold the vehicle and he wants to transfer the NCB on new private car of 1788 cc, can it be allowed? See, the tariff says you can allow the NCB on the same category of vehicle. Okay, so it can be allowed. Private car to private car, it is allowed. But as you are yourself mentioning, the CC is increasing from 1000 to 1788, the rating of the vehicle will change. So in this case, this question will not come in exam, but in this case, what we do in practical is, instead of 50%, we allow a lower slab, 45% or 35%. This is the practical solution what we do. But yes, if the category is same, it can be allowed. If he is transferring from car to truck, it will not be allowed. Okay. Next question is, GCV commercial vehicle tanker GVW 9000 kg met with an accident. Driver was having. Okay. Let us name it as question number 2. And I want all of you also to answer this question in the chat box. While I read this question, you can also answer this question in the chat box. So, you are saying a vehicle which was having GVW of 9000 kg met with an accident, and he was having driving license of LMV TR but not the transport license. Okay, and you are saying the vehicle was, can the claim be repudiated? Yes, a claim can be repudiated because he was not holding the effective driving license to drive this tanker. If we repudiate, customer goes to court, what will be court's decision? Now this question cannot be answered by anyone. What will be court's decision? Because court's decision are decided by, obviously, by the courts. What I can tell you is, so this question is a subjective question, it will not come in exam, but let me tell you how to face this kind of situations. Suppose you know the claim is 100% it can be repudiated, right? And you are fearing that if he goes to court, he will get it. Only thing that you have to do is you have to timely repudiate the claim. And the letter that you are sending should be well drafted. It should contain the condition, policy condition, why are you repudiating this claim, and it should follow all the IRDA PHPI guidelines. Okay, if you follow everything, then even if he goes to court, the judgment will be in your favor. It all depends on how you repudiate a claim and how you contest the claim in the court. Suppose if I am just writing, you were driving the vehicle of higher category, we repudiate the claim, this letter will not stand in the court of law. Suppose if you write clearly that the driving license that you are having was not effective for this class of vehicle, we represent the driver's clause mentioned in the policy, and then you repaste the driver's clause which is mentioned in the policy, and then you allow him 15 days to come back to you with a pre-repudiation, and then you repudiate a claim, you can easily contest this particular thing in the court of law. I hope you got the answer. Question number 3 is, if the tanker was empty and not carrying its full capacity and its laden weight is 500, no. In this case also we will have to repudiate the claim because our policy very clearly speaks about GVW. We take the premium on GVW, full GVW, the licensing are done on full GVW. We have to consider that the vehicle is fully loaded. Even if it is empty vehicle, you are saying 5000 kg, I am saying even if it is empty vehicle, nothing is loaded, then also he should have that particular effective driving license to drive that vehicle. What will be the court judgment? The answer is same, you have to repudiate it effectively. And within time, after 6 months if I repudiate, I will end up paying in the service deficiency claim. Right? So whatever timelines are given by IRDA, you have to honor it. In driving license is not effective, how long does it take to know? It takes only 2 or 3 days, right? So you repudiate the claim in the first month itself. Do not wait for 6 months. Under which category the self-driven vehicles like Zoom car will be rated? It is rated as a commercial vehicle. If you have seen the Zoom car policy, it is a commercial vehicle package policy. Only difference in these kind of cars is it can be driven by a private LMV NT license also. If a car is black number plate, it is registered as self-driven car. LMV licenses are okay to drive those kind of vehicles. Next is if there are some vehicles which were earlier categorized as D and now moved to another category. Yes. There are 7 such vehicles. I will show you IRDA circular. Sorry. So these are the 7 vehicles which are now categorized as a commercial purpose vehicles. Okay. So out of 58, these 7 vehicles are moved from miscellaneous to commercial category. With tractors, dumpers, milk vans, oil and petrol, refrigeration vehicles, pre-cooling unit, tankers and tippers. Next is in case of a motor vehicle, IDV is 1 lakh rupees, loss assessment is 80,000 and liability after applying depreciation as per GN9 is 70,000 rupees. Should we consider this as a CTL claim or a normal claim? Okay. So, if you remember on day 2 what we discussed, the insurer's liability should exceed 75%. So, in your question it is 70,000 rupees, right? And IDV is 1 lakh, it is 70%, it is not exceeding, then it is a normal claim, it is not a CTL. So, you have to deduct the depreciation also to calculate the insurance company's liability. Right? Next question. In motor TP claim calculation, what is the deduction for personal expense when the person is married but has only one dependent? We just did this question. It is 2 to 3. The lowest slab is 1/3 is his personal expense. One dependent say why. I think we just did it. You have posted this question at 8:37. So I feel you have got the answer for this. Next is meaning of the named drive plates and for which vehicle it is used. Okay. Named driver plates. There are named driver policies. Okay, it is generally used in motor trade road risk policy. The policy can be issued in 2 forms. It can be a named driver policy or it can be a trade plate policy. Okay, you can mention the trade plate number or you can mention the specific driver who can drive that vehicle. These policies are generally issued to dealer. It is called motor trade road risk policies. Okay, next is sunset clause applicable for all class of vehicle? I need to check. I have a tariff open. Let us check it in the tariff right now. Sunset clause is under GR 17 or GR 27 NCB, right? Here it is. Sunset clause. If the renewal is falling due at any time between 1st July 2002, both inclusive higher percentage and nil x net slab. Okay, there is no bifurcation given for commercial or private. So it can be assumed that it can be used on both the vehicles. Again, if it depends on what particular category of vehicle he has earned this sunset clause. If he has earned it on a private car, we will continue the same category. If he has earned it on a commercial car, we will continue it with the same category. This is my understanding. Okay, going back to the question. Transit mixer should be considered as GCV or miscellaneous D class. Okay. Transit mixer is a machine, right? A machine, a truck mounted with a mixer on it. So you can consider it in both GCV or miscellaneous D, whatever you wish. Okay. Generally, practically what we do is we consider it as a GCV. Why GCV? Because the premium ratings are higher for a GCV than a miscellaneous D. So it will be sometimes on the public roads also. So that is the reason we take it generally as a GCV. You can take it as both. tariff says you can write it as a goods carrying vehicle, or you can also write it as a miscellaneous D class. So the answer to your question is you can take it in both the ways. It is okay. If a family member is driving a private car with valid license, what kind of PA will cover him in case of an accident? So there is a cover called, you want a PA cover for him. We can issue unnamed PA cover, okay, to 5 passengers. Suppose if the person who is the owner is not driving, but other 5 members are there in the car. So if you want a cover for them, you have to take unnamed PA. Maximum in a 5-seater vehicle can be taken for 5 people. Right? So I think I have answered all the questions which are in the Excel sheet, and let me check if any chat question is unanswered. Nowadays they are not being issued like only for transport, so there is no reason for repudiation. Okay. Miss Manju says nowadays DL are not being issued like only transport, so there is no reason for repudiation. See, as far as my understanding goes, there is still a categorization of transport and LMB. The medium goods vehicle thing has been eliminated. Now it can be a transport. See, earlier the categorization was LGV, light goods vehicle, medium goods vehicle, and heavy goods vehicle, HGV. Now the recent guidelines say there is no such categorization. It can be either a transport or a non-transport. So non-transport vehicle is generally categorized the vehicles which are less than 7,500 GVW. So still there is a categorization. I request you to check it with the motor OD department, and they will be help you to show you the exact licenses and the exact way they work. One more question is theft of only tires covered in private car? No, only tire theft is not covered in any policy. Damages only to tire is not covered in any type of policy. If you are talking about wheel, yes, it is covered in private car. Wheel assembly, see, nobody will take only tire. If he is able to take out the tire, probably he will take the whole wheel. He will not take the pain of pulling out the tire from the wheel, from the hub. We call it a wheel assembly. It is a hub and there is a tire on it. It can be alloy wheel, it can be the old what we used to call it, I am not able to recall the name, but he will take the whole assembly with him. If he is able to pull out that thing, he will not just take the tire out and keep the alloy wheel there. He will take the alloy wheel also with him. The cost of the alloy wheel is actually more than the tire. In a private car, it is covered. In a commercial vehicle, it is not covered. Where it is written? It is written under condition 2A of commercial vehicle package policy. Please share metallurgy of the car parts. Okay. Metallurgy of car parts. One second, I will tell you in short. What all parts are common from examination point of view. Okay. So first we are considering, one second, plastic. I am new with this whiteboard, so it is not responding to me at the same pace. Okay, this is plastic and this is metal. Plastic parts in a private car are generally bumper, headlamps, tail lamps, and mirrors, and indicators. All kinds of lamps are taken as plastic, and if it comes to my mind, I will write. My metal will be bonnet or the hood, doors, rooftop, dicky, or we also call it deck lid or tailgate. So these are generally the metal parts which are asked in exams, and these are generally the plastic parts which are asked in exam. There are some confusing parts like condenser. Condenser is made up of aluminium. Okay, so we take it as metal. It is pure aluminium or pure metal for your understanding. Condenser is a part of a AC assembly. It is used to cool down the AC refrigerant. Okay. Next part is radiator. Now there is a big confusion with the radiator. In practical working also, sometimes we take it as plastic, sometimes we take it as metal. So I can only hope this question is not asked in the exam. Radiator, if he is asking, examiner is asking, he knows that there is a confusion in the market, so he will write plastic radiator or metal radiator. If nothing is written, what to do? I suggest you take it as plastic. Now this is controversial, many people will start commenting on this, but let me be very clear. The radiator upper tanks and the radiator lower tanks are made up of plastic. The knobs where the radiator is fitted on the car are made up of plastic. So when there is an impact on the frontal portion of the car, these are the first things that gets damaged. That is the reason, that is the logic behind taking it as plastic. Yes, radiator has the metal component also in it, and which is higher than the plastic part, but as an insurance company, if nothing is given, a general policy is given, we have to take radiator as a plastic part. In some particular like brands where we have a national level tie-ups, the broker will specifically ask us to take this radiator as metal. Okay, only on those particular cases. So don't get confused and pray to God that this radiator is not asked in the exam. If it is asked, take it as plastic and solve it. Okay, please include this in the PPT and share. Okay, I will try to save this and I will try to share this with the PPT. Are headlights under IMT 23 for commercial vehicle? Yes, headlights are under IMT 23 for commercial vehicles. Mirrors are not there. I was solving one question during these sessions and I took it mistakenly as a MT23 part, the mirrors, but it is not taken. Earlier it was taken because earlier in older days the mirror was fitted on the bonnets like this, if you have seen the older Ashok Leyland trucks. So earlier they used to take, so that is the reason I was also a bit confused, and in that confusion and that tweaking of the question I took it as IMT23 part, but no, nowadays we are not taking mirror the IMT23 parts. So I hope fiber parts also. Okay, fiber parts are parts, 1 second, let me delete this or let me take a new sheet. Fiber parts, see, if it is a bus, if you have seen a normal school bus or the frontal portions, these, if let us consider these are the frontal portions of the bus. Okay, so these portions are made up of the fiber. Fiber means you will be able to see the rashes or the threads of it looks like a cloth. So these parts are called fiber parts. Generally it is used in the buses nowadays. In supercars it is used. If you know a car by the name DC Avanti, the headlamps are also made up of fiber in those things. So if these kind of questions are asked in exam, they will tell you that it is a fiber bumper or it is a fiber front panel. How do they write it? They will write like this, fiber bumper. In commercial vehicles, yes, till today some fiber bumpers are there. Commercial means the buses. They will give you like this, fiber bumper costing rupees 10,000. 1 second. Fiber bumper costing rupees 10,000 is replaced. The question will be asked like this. So don't worry about this. So I think I have missed one query from Ms. Rajni. Please reply to my query above. 1 second. Headlights are considered as glass parts in books where we consider it plastic parts. How the examiner will consider? In books they have considered it as glass. I am not sure, but practically we consider it as plastic. Examiner will also consider it as plastic. Don't worry, you go ahead with plastic. This I am telling you with the confidence of experience of 11 years. I have never taken the headlamps as glass parts. You can also cross check this particular fact with your OD department. Okay, I believe I have answered all the queries. And suppose if any query is left unanswered, or if you feel there are a lot of doubts, you can keep posting it in this Google Sheet link is already always there with you. You can keep posting the doubts in this. If there are more than say 20-25 doubts, probably AB team will arrange for a special class for this also. Okay, this is, I am just telling you my understanding. I am not sure about whether that class will happen or not, but don't worry, your queries will be answered. That I can assure you. Either I will answer it personally or AB team will answer it on my behalf. Right? So with this, I thank you all for allowing me an opportunity to share what all things I know, and I hope these sessions were of little use to you, and you will be able to score at least 10% from these sessions. So thank you everyone, and all the best for the exams. Bye bye.